Hello, my name is Sven and you're watching Starcraft Pulse. There isn't really very much to say here today, so I'm just going to jump straight into the news. Are you attending BlizzCon this year, either in the flesh or with a virtual ticket? Well then, here's what you're going to be getting with that. You'll be able to display your tidal pride in Starcraft 2 with a Murloc Marine portrait and some deep sea decals to emblazon on your units. That sounds pretty good if you ask me. I wish someone would just give me a ticket already. Check out the Warcraft section of the show to see what the WoW players will be getting with those Starcraft 2 goodies. MTV Multiplayer had a little chat with Rob Pardo, the Executive Vice President of Game Design at Blizzard, to get an update about Heart of the Swarm. From what he had to say, it seems like Blizzard is really going to power through the making of the expansion. So we may well be seeing Heart of the Swarm earlier than we expected. You can read the full interview over at mtvmultiplayer.com. The top 200 lists of StarCraft 2 players that Blizzard are so proud of have been updated once again. They did tell us that they'd be doing this regularly, but it's great to see them actually do it. It's nice to see which players are consistently able to keep those top spots. You can find links to the US, EU and Korean top 200 lists below. So the 2010 Gamescom convention is now officially over. We saw some great new stuff from Blizzard, and obviously the Intel Extreme Masters happened at the event. Blizzard have compiled a nice recap of the entire weekend. It can be found on any of their official sites. Blizzard quotes, "All in all, Gamescom 2010 was a huge success and we have the screenshots to prove it." And indeed they do. You can find quite a few galleries of photos and videos in the links below. The whole thing was pretty amazing, so you'd best check it out if you haven't already. So the Intel Extreme Masters, what a great tournament to watch. The Terran player Morrow managed to beat the Zerg Idra with a score of 3-1 in the finals. It was some pretty nail-biting stuff. You can find the full results and replay pack in the links below. You can also find an extremely informative post about everything you'd ever want to know about Morrow over at teamliquid.net. And really, I mean everything. The 8 players who are set to compete in the Nvidia Gosu Cup final have been chosen. These players were chosen from the top spots of 4 different qualifiers that happened over the past couple of weeks. There are some really big names there, along with a few new faces that we haven't seen too often. The grand finals will be happening from the 27th to the 29th of August, and the players will be competing for a €1,500 prize. Good luck to those players, and I absolutely can't wait to see those games. Just a couple of days ago I found out that the University of Florida is offering a course in Starcraft called 21st Century Skills in Starcraft. The course uses Blizzard's classic RTS to impart students with skills in the areas of problem solving, critical thinking and resource management. Now that sounds like a course I'd like to do. A study recently conducted by the Department of Psychiatry at South Korea's Chungang University has found that Starcraft addiction can be treated with a drug called bupropion. The drug is used as an antidepressant and anti-smoking aid. According to wired.co.uk, the study found that individuals that took the drug for longer than 6 weeks found their average Starcraft playtime reduced by 33%. That's interesting. You can find both those weird stories in the links below. The Terran player Sio, yes, good old Sio is back again, has stated his dominance once again, this time by taking both the Compito Cup number 2 and Zotac Cup number 19. In Zotac number 19, Sio faced off against fellow Terran player Jimpo and won with a score of 3-2. In the second Compito Cup, his challenger in the finals was the Protoss player Hasu Obs, whom he managed to beat with a score of 2-1. Craft Cup 4 was won by the Protoss player Nightend in the clan MTW. He overcame the Terran player Mers in the finals with a score of 3-2. The latest Go for SC2 Cup that was held on Wednesday night was won by everyone's favourite Terran player Morrow. He took down another MTW player Naruto in the finals with a score of 3-0. So be sure to check down in the links below for full results and replay packs from all those tournaments. The Insomnia 40 LAN is happening from the 27th to the 30th of August at the Newbury Racecourse in the UK. There are way too many exhibitions and shows happening at the event to actually mention here, but what makes it worth talking about is the fact that there's going to be a StarCraft 2 tournament and tons of show matches happening at the event. The tournament will start on the 28th and will be hosted and shoutcasted by none other than Total Biscuit. The tournament will be streamed live, and he's also informed us that during the downtime we may even see some Cataclysm coverage. I can't wait to see those games and hear his incredibly entertaining shoutcasting. Be sure to read about that in the links below and check over at teamliquid.net on the day for the live stream. 5 pairs of BlizzCon tickets are being given away. All you gotta do is provide your contact details. The catch, you ask? Well, you have to live in the United States to be eligible. That sucks for everyone that's not in the US, but you can read more about that in the links below. Blizzard's Game Aesthetics Convention is being held in Taiwan from the 20th of August till the 10th of October. It's basically just a huge art show featuring all of Blizzard's work, including their latest and greatest creations. Apparently they have more than 700 artworks from the Diablo, Warcraft and Starcraft universes on show. I would love to see that myself. You can read more about that over at kotaku.com or 178.com. Okay, let's head on over to the local news. The GamerNet 2v2 Cup happened this past weekend with Angry African and Dreamer's 2v2 team called Ventus Epics for Casuals winning it. The whole thing ran smoothly for the first 2v2 Cup and was pretty entertaining on the whole. You can thank the guys from gamernet.co.za for that, and you can find the full results and replays in the links below. After the great success of Polar Fluke released and the excitement it generated in the local community, we simply can't wait for more from Polar Fluke. And more we get in. Set for the weekend of the 4th of September, it's here, Polar Fluke Heaven's Devils. This will be a 1v1 tournament using the standard rule set, and we'll no doubt be hearing more about prizes and the likes closer to the time. I know I've mentioned it before, but here we go again. Polar Fluke Factions will be starting on Monday the 30th of August, so be ready for that. It'll be a team-based league where teams consist of 3 or more players and all the players need to play. Teams will compete in 1v1 and 2v2 matches on a weekly basis. So get ready for that one, guys, just a couple of sleeps till that starts. If you want to try keep track of the local players on the international ladders, you can check out a cool site that was made by a player called Horus. The site was made to match sc2ranks.com, but this site only follows local players. You can find that over at sc2ranks.co.za. So that's it for local news. If you want to read more about tournaments and the likes happening, check over at mitan.co.za or polarfluke.co.za for more. Let's see what's been happening in Warcraft news. Death will rise from the tides, level 80 elite Tauren chieftain once warned, and at BlizzCon 2010 their musical prophecy will come to pass. Everyone who attends this year's BlizzCon 2010 or purchases a virtual ticket will receive an exclusive set of Murlocalyptic in-game items for World of Warcraft and Starcraft 2. You've already heard what the Starcraft players are getting, so the World of Warcraft players will be receiving Deathy. He's a Murloc companion decked out as Deathwing and doing his best to strike fear into the crustacean population. So that sounds pretty epic. I know that's reason enough for some people to buy those virtual tickets. Here's a quick random fact for everyone watching. Well, not totally random, maybe just a little. It's now been 1 year since the announcement of World of Warcraft Cataclysm. I'm actually happy to hear it because it feels like a lot longer that we've been waiting. Wowhead.com has a nice Cataclysm guide up featuring full lists of everything that's changed and everything we can expect from Cataclysm once it's released. So you can check that out over at wowhead.com or in the links below. These Cataclysm beta builds are coming fast and furious now. I'm really enjoying all the new and interesting changes though. Cataclysm beta build 12803 has hit the servers, and let's see if I can get most of the changes and updates in one sentence. There's a huge list of mounts and items that have been added to the beta. Blizzard's own Power Aura-ish add-on has been added. There's a new little gauge that shows when the game is streaming data. The Tolbarad PvP zone has been updated. There are obviously tons of new class and achievement changes, and the Worgen character screen has been updated. Phew, that took about 20 takes to get right. As usual, you can find the changes in the links below or over at mitan.co.za. Blizzard are proud to announce a brand new Cataclysm Beta Guild contest open exclusively to residents of Australia and New Zealand. They're looking for some tightly knit guilds that are ready to rumble their way through the Cataclysm Beta. So if you play on those oceanic servers, this one's for you. Check that out over at worldofwarcraft.com or in the links below. Delve into the mysteries of Azshara with Blizzard game designers Craig Amaya and David Kosak. They talk about the Horde's northward expansion into Azshara and the rise of the Bilgewater Cartel in World of Warcraft Cataclysm. Conflict, adventure and profit await those that enter the newly reimagined Azshara. Yes, you've guessed it, another zone preview and Q&A. You can find that in the links below. Tom Chilton seemed to have been really busy promoting World of Warcraft Cataclysm at Gamescom this year. In the links below you can find a lot of different interviews with various different sites covering pretty much everything you'd ever want to know about Cataclysm. An interesting discovery was made on the Cataclysm beta servers recently. Blizzard has placed general profession traders in all the low-level areas. These trainers can teach you any of the current professions in the game, well, the first rank of them at least. I think it's a great idea and it gives everyone starting the game a chance to try all the professions easily before choosing one and sticking to it. Okay, so let's head on over to Diablo news. Torchlight 3 before Diablo 3? Yep. I think I'll let everyone consider just how ridiculous that is for just a second. Pretty ridiculous, isn't it? Runic Games CEO Max Schaefer respectfully believes that a third Torchlight game may well be out before Diablo 3 is released. He says the reason for that is because Diablo 3 has to be perfect in every possible way. It's a heavy burden being the best games developer out there, isn't it, Blizzard? Yes, it is. Read the full interview in the links below. If you call yourself a Diablo fan, you absolutely have to check it out. In another big announcement, we were told that we will be seeing some really big Diablo news at this year's BlizzCon. A quote from Blizzard: "I can say that this year's BlizzCon, in terms of Diablo news, will be the biggest one we've ever had." That's all we need to know. I really can't wait for October now. So now let's check out a few small pieces of Diablo 3 news. DiabloFans.com have a great roundup of everything that happened at Gamescom. Well, everything Diablo related at least. We've recently been enlightened a little about the gem system in Diablo 3. Bashiak told us a little bit about how many gems it would take to merge to make higher level gems, and about all the different uses that gems have in Diablo 3. Have you visited the official Diablo 3 website yet? Of course you have. Do you want to know who the infamous Abd al-Hazir is? Of course you do! I have the answers for you right here. Apparently Blizzard's lead world game designer Leonard Boyarsky is the scribe responsible for most of the works on the site. As Tom Chilton did for World of Warcraft at this year's Gamescom 2010, it seems like Jay Wilson has stepped up for Diablo 3. There were many different interviews from many different sites covering pretty much everything they were willing to talk about concerning Diablo 3. Diablo.incgamers.com have a post up about some players getting their hands on Diablo 3 and recounting their experiences. It's pretty interesting because some of the players apparently didn't enjoy their time playing the game too much. I know, right? Anyway, check out all those small pieces of news over at DiabloFans.com, Diablo.incgamers.com or meton.co.za. Now onto the news section of the show, the question of the week. Do you think we'll be seeing a third Torchlight before we get our hands on Diablo 3? Please leave your answers in the form of comments or video responses below. But that's it for this week's show. Thank you so much for watching, and as usual, thank you to all the new subscribers and viewers. If there's anyone else that still wants to help out with that competition that I mentioned a few weeks back, you can still find all the details below. It'll take a couple of seconds of your time, and I'd really appreciate the help. Like it, favorite it, and share it with your friends. Most importantly though, happy Starcrafting.